Wala pa yung live. Here we go!
Wala.
Hey, good evening, Pilipinas! This is your DJ King Lee of Kato-Talk ng Zone 10A. This is our kick-off program for you guys, and I hope magustuhan po ninyong our first episode. I am with the District 3020 Mental Health Chair, Coach Glenda de la Cruz. Hi, Coach Glenda.
Hi, Kingley. Good evening, Pilipinas. No, wow. Nakaka-exciting naman 'yan. And Zone 10A, right? Medyo nakakapanibago. So I have to shout out sa District 38 21st kasi this is such a transition, no? And but wow, good evening Pilipinas. Good evening Zone 10A. Andito po kami ngayon. Maraming salamat, King Lee, at sinamahan mo ko ngayon. Napaka-special na night ito.
Of course, of course. Here in Rotary Philippines, we value the mental health. Isa po yan sa isinasama po natin sa ating mga programa. In District 3820, meron po tayong sariling committee, no, to oversee the mental health of our dear Rotarians. And tonight, we will be talking about the importance of having this kind of mental health, the importance of, sabi nga dun sa title natin, don't bottle it up, no? So before we proceed to the to our interview sa ating guest last time, Coach Glenda, bottle up, sampu nang galing yung bottle up na yon. Ano po yung pinanggalingan niya? And anong niya, connection niya sa mental health?
Yeah. So that's such a good question, King Lee. Actually, you don't bottle it up, right? It's actually it's a campaign. It's a Rotary International campaign, and how lucky are we to have had Darren Hands join us in an interview. So that's the video, the recording that we're gonna see later. But the don't bottle it up is really the idea of opening up, right? So yung sinasabi nating mental health awareness and really yung para tayo gumanda ang kaisipan, mas maging maliwanag, yung mga ating mga mabibigat na nararamdaman, there's a need na ilabas, no? So in short, sa ating English, don't bottle it up. So it's a campaign na talaga namang ini-encourage ang mga tao na express, right? And anybody is encouraged, everybody is encouraged to speak up openly about mental health. Pero syempre, hindi yan madali, King Lee, right? So that's why this year, third year in a row, it's such an honor and a privilege na maging mental health chair for our district, right? So buong Pilipinas. Ako po si Glenda. Magpapakilala na ako. So we have a mental health team, and we're working, right? And it's really to support and also, of course, our community. But yeah, so buong Pilipinas, andito po kami to support. And then I know that other clubs, other districts in the Philippines have mental health advocates as well. So let us collaborate because as they say, right, together we are stronger. And ang ating theme this year is napakaganda, Fight for Good. Diba? Yung sama-sama tayo na talaga namang more power when we are together, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm excited tonight, King Lee. Darren Hands. He is from, he's from UK. And
Yeah.
I should have wrote this down, but he's joining us. I'm sure if I share this, I gotta share this live, and he is tuning in, and I'm really excited to show the video where he talked about the campaign and the work that he has been doing since the pandemic. And really, without saying too much about the interview, he said a lot, and hopefully itong ating video na ito, it's a beginning, right? It's a beginning of more people talking about mental health, as we all should be, And sana mas marami pang tayong maimbita ng mga speakers to have mental health conversation. Right, 𝐃𝐎𝐍? I know you have a lot of stories to tell.
Right. Mental health is one of the topics that we are discussing here at Kato-Talk ng Komunidad. What made me excited, what made me hopeful for this year for Kato-Talk, it's our third year, no? So, mas madami po kaming kwento na madadala po sa inyo. Mas madami po kaming kwento na ikukwento sa inyo dito sa Kato-Talk. If you are a first-timer listening right now at Kato-Talk ng Komunidad, because, we are here at Zone Sanay, if meron po kayong kwento na gusto po ninyong ikwento, ibahagi sa buong Pilipinas, sa buong mundo, Kato-Talk ng Komunidad is your venue, no? So ngayon, pag-usapan natin ang campaign. This is an international campaign. Don't bottle it up, no? So, gaano ka-importante that you are opening yourself to the people. Hindi siya madali. So paano natin yan padadaliin, no? So for those leaders who are hoping na magkaroon ng mga projects, this segment is for you. Stay tuned. Mag-take down note ka, then i-share nyo po sa amin dyan sa comment box, no? And then, if you think someone na really an advocate for mental health, i-share mo lang itong video na to para makatulong sa kanila, no? So here at Kato-Talk, makakakuha ka ng mga ideas for your future projects, no? And right now, of course, wag na natin patagalin pa, no? Let's have the video of Mr. Darren Hands with Coach Glenda and President Nominee Mix. Let's go, guys!
Good evening. Magandang gabi sa lahat. This is Glenda. Welcome to Kato-Talk. It has been a while since, we've come on. But this is actually, just to say, this is a recording. So we're hoping to stream this in July to kick off our new Rotary year, Unite for Good. And so, yes, I am so excited for our incoming year. What a beautiful, beautiful theme we have. But this evening, I am so excited because we have a special guest. And if this is not your first time watching me on Kato-Talk, you know that I am all for mental health. So this incoming year, I'm our District 3820 under membership mental health chair. And so I'm just really excited to kick us off with our special guest. But of course, our conversation is going to be about mental health, right? So I'm really excited for this evening to talk about mental health, to really kick our year off with this very essential conversation. So we have a special guest coming to join me in the next few seconds. But before we do that, I would like to ask Kuya Honey to play our special song. Go ahead, Kuya Honey.
Yo man, alam mo ba yung Rotary District 3820, yung boses ng komunidad online radio? Oo naman man, sila yung tumutulong sa mga kabataan at komunidad. Saka balita ko, ang dami nilang mga project ngayon eh. Doon niya ako pupunta ngayon eh, para sumali sa kanila. Tara! Tanging lakas at pag-asa'y taglay natin, kasama sa pagbangon ng mithiin. Kalakasan ng komunidad sa bawat takbang, pananampalataya sa amang lumikhang. Ang Rotary District, sila ay nakatutok, boses ng komunidad kasama sa mga pagsubok. Inuuna ang paglilingkod bago ang sarili, tapat sa apat na hakbang sa pagsusuri. Katotohanan lamang at katarungan, kabutihan ng loob may pakinabang. Kaya lahat tayo'y tumutok sa Kato-Talk, sa ating komunidad, sila ay nakatutok. Kato-Talk ng komunidad, ating pag-asa, pagmamahal, kapit-bisig, sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat pagsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan. Kato-Talk ng komunidad, ating pag-asa, pagmamahal, kapit-bisig, sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat pagsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan. Di nauubos ang pag-asa sa ating mga kamay. Sa bawat puso may liwanag na tinataglay. Walang sawang paggabay sa taong bayan, pagmamahal sa kapwa at laging maaasahan. Sa bawat kalamidad na dumaan, presensya ng Rotary palaging naandyan. Kasama natin nung umpisa hanggang ngayon, mga programang sa atin lamang nakatuon. Mga pangangailangan ng mga kababayan, pag narinig mo ang pangalan, ibang klaseng kasiyahan. Di tayo pinabayaan anumang pinagdaanan, kayo ang nagbigay pag-asa sa mga kabataan. Katotok ng komunidad ating pag-asa, pagmamahal, kapit-bisig, sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat magsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan. Katotok ng komunidad ating pag-asa, pagmamahal, kapit-bisig, sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat magsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan. Katotok ng komunidad ating pag-asa, pagmamahal, kapit-bisig, sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat magsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan. Katotok ng komunidad ating pag-asa, pagmamahal, kapit-bisig, sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat magsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan.
On this very essential conversation, I just want to shout out to my Rotary Club of 𝐃𝐎𝐍'𝐓 as they watch this when we do stream it. So yeah, you know, this guest that we have, I actually I searched for him. He can hear me right now. I searched for him because I was really interested to hear about this campaign from the Rotary, from the RI level, don't bottle it up. And so I'm really excited to have him come on board and to share about the campaign and to share everything that he's doing with the Rotary Action Group for Mental Health. So without further ado, let me please welcome our special guest for this video, Darren Hands. Come on up. He is from District 1175, Southwest Peninsula, England. And Darren, I can't say that club name, so you're just going to have to say it. Welcome. Welcome, Darren. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. My club name is Plymouth Rowborough, which is in, as I say, District 1175, Southwest Peninsula in England.
Yes, thank you, Darren. So, you know, I mean, that just sounds so far away, right? And then we have 7-hour difference. So I really find it amazing how we can connect with people across the globe. And really, you know, the globe is, I mean, the world is huge, but yet we can connect so easily nowadays. Isn't it amazing?
It's one of the great things, if there is a great thing which came out of it, out of COVID, because I think with clubs and Rotarians being able to meet online, attend club events all over the world. As we were saying before the meeting started here today, I was on furlough for about 18 months, so I became pretty much a full-time Rotarian for 18 months. So the number of Rotary clubs around the world I visited was just huge, and the number of friends I made for doing that. So yes, COVID wasn't great, but from a Rotary perspective, it opened up so many opportunities to meet people around the world. And it's actually been great. But some of those I've actually managed to meet in person since. So
yeah, that's true, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of there's Rotary e-clubs. I didn't know that they existed, but I wonder how many of them, you know, started and was founded during the COVID. I'm sure there was probably a jump.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
So Darren, start us off, right? I mean, I want to hear everything, the work that you do. I know you're part of Rotary Action Group for Mental Health Initiatives, because that's where I got your contact, right? And I was actually a member of it, like, I don't know, 2 years ago, I joined it. And great initiative, great action group, Rotary Action Group. So Darren, I want to hear all about Don't Bottle It Up mental health campaign. I don't know where you want to start, but I'm all ears.
Well, I've got a presentation which hopefully we can get this to work. So let's see if we can get this working. And so hopefully you can see that. So we've already done the introductions verse. I'm a member of Plymouth Rotary Club here in South West England. When I give this presentation, one of the things I always say is, myself, like the vast majority of Rotarians, I am not a mental health care professional. I'm an ordinary Rotarian. My background is actually in finance and compliance in the education sector. Admittedly, back in November 2020, I did qualify as a mental health first aider, which has given me a number of tools, as you can see on the slide here, to assess for and assist in the crisis, listen and communicate non-judgmentally, give support and information, encourage appropriate professional help, and encourage other forms of support and help. Now, for the last 3 bullet points there, I've put in red because really when we were looking to set this campaign up, those were 3 of the key things we were looking to try and do with the campaign. And by becoming a mental healthcare first aider, when we went through that and they highlighted the way it could benefit you with those 5 bullet points there, to see that those last 3 were some of the key elements of the mental health first aid course, it gave me sort of assurance that what we were doing, we were going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I always do when I start this presentation, now, usually when I've given this either in person or to an audience, there'll be a number of people there which I'll be asking these questions to, but also when I've done this in this sort of format before, I just like to sort of pose these questions and just ask everyone who's viewing this presentation just to think in their own head what they think the answers are to these questions, because when I actually started looking into this, some of the answers to these following questions are very, very scary. And although these questions are quite a few years old now, to be honest, not a lot has changed. So first question I'm going to pose to everyone, how many people, and I apologize if this is in the UK, but from what I've experienced over the last few years, it's pretty much worldwide, but how many people will experience a mental health problem every year? And I've given 3 options there, 1 in 8, 1 in 4, or 1 in 2. Well, if you've seen the mental health campaign that I run, you'll know that amongst the narrative, we actually give you the answer there, 1 in 4 people. So 25% of people, as I say, this question is UK based, but it's pretty much around the world, 25% of the population will at some point every year experience some form of mental health issue to one degree or another.
Yeah.
The next question I ask is, what proportion of people with mental health problems experience stigma? 90%, 50%, or 10%? And from what I've just said, just now when I said that the answers are quite scary, it'll be no surprise, 90%. And that's part of the reason why we formed this campaign, is to tackle the stigma around mental health issues.
Yeah.
What proportion of people with mental health problems believe that workplace stress contributed to their illness? 2/3, 1/3, or 1/5? 2/3 again. So those of us who are managers, employers, business owners, I think this slide here emphasizes the need to look after our staff and to look after their mental well-being. How long do the majority of people with a mental health problem wait before telling their closest family and friends about it? 7 months, 2 months, or over a year? And it's over a year to talk to their closest family and friends. Why? Those are the people we should be talking to try and get support. Why wait over a year to bring these sort of subjects and issues up? And what proportion of people with mental health problems reported stigma affecting their friendships? 65%, 44%, or 15%? And again, almost 2/3. So again, if you know someone who's affected by a mental health issue, don't be afraid to support them. Give them that support. Put an arm around their shoulder and show that you care and you're there for them. Because far too many people are finding that friendships are fading because of mental health issues, and it should do.
Yeah.
So you're asking how about this campaign. So I'm going to take us all the way back to the beginning of it. And to do that, I need to go back to 2017. I was in charge of the speaker program for my district conference. And I wanted to have a session, a plenary session on mental health issues. Admittedly, the district governor at the time wasn't too sure about it, but in the end, everyone agreed it's probably one of the best plenary sessions we've had at a district conference. But it left us thinking, what could we as Rotarians do to help those affected by mental health? Now, to go back almost 10 years even further, those of you who've been in Rotary for a long time, I'm sure will remember the This Close to Ending Polio campaign. Well, here in the UK, we felt it was very US-centric. A lot of the personalities involved in it, people here in the UK wouldn't recognise. So I was behind doing a UK adaptation of the campaign. With the 2012 Olympics coming up, I got some future Olympians on board. I got some celebrity TV chefs on board, famous sports stars, members of parliament, so on and so forth to take part in that campaign. And it's a very successful campaign. Wow. So we thought at that time, back in 2017, what can we do? Well, the End Polio campaign variation we did was a very big success here in the UK. So why don't we do something very similar? So that's where the Don't Bottle Up awareness campaign came up. Rather than the finger gesture, we thought holding a bottle, don't bottle up, nice easy tagline. So that's how it started here in the southwest of England. Yeah. And one of the things that was very relevant at the time, at that district conference, or it might have been the year before, Frank Devlin, sadly no longer with us, but a former Rotary International president, he was in attendance. And when he was the RI president back in 2000, 2001, his theme for the year was create awareness, take action. And really that's a sort of motto that we've adopted for our campaign as well. We want to create that awareness so people can take action. I know we no longer have these sort of RI president themes anymore, although this could be sort of taglines to be used, but if ever there was one which I think identifies with people in, is a good call to action, Frank's was definitely one of those phrases to use and themes, rather. So with mental health, I'm not going to stay too long on this slide, but you can see with this sort of map here, mental health and mental health issues can come in all sorts of different ways and means. It can affect people in different ways. Causes, it could be through work-related stress, it could be through illness, it could be through medication, it could be through substance abuse. There's so many reasons behind mental health, which is why it's a very difficult subject, I think, some people find to talk about. Yeah. Again, a few more bullet points here. We've already touched upon 1 in 4 people experience a mental health issue each year. I won't go through each line here, but there's one I want to just draw to your attention because I'll come back to this in a short while. But here in the UK, every 2 hours, a man under the age of 45 takes their own life.
That caught my eyes, Darren.
Yeah. And that's not a case of attempts to take their life. That is, every 2 hours, a man in the UK.
Yeah. Actually does it.
Actually takes their life, yeah, which is sad. But I want you to keep that in your head for a slide I've got in a short while, which you'll see why in a short while. This slide here, as I mentioned, I work in the education sector, and this was scary for me. Again, it's got like 1 in 4 people affected by mental health, but you can see that 94% of colleges here in the UK have students who have attempted suicide in the past 12 months. Yeah. 85% of colleges have seen a significant number of students with undiagnosed mental health issues in the last year. So it's affecting people all around the world in different ways. Again, this slide here, I won't dwell on it too much, but again, you can see here 50% of people by the age of 46, almost 50% of the population will have had some sort of mental health issue experience. Yeah. And the thing to remember as well is we're talking about here about the people who are directly affected, but we mustn't forget those who are indirectly affected, the family, the friends, work colleagues, neighbours, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
This slide here is one I came across just a few days ago. This just shows how widespread stress, depression and anxiety are in a number of countries in 12 months. So you can see here in the UK, it's sort of 39% of the population. Sweden, which surprised me, has quite a high degree of stress, depression, anxiety. But I think it's the next slide. Yeah, it's this next slide. This is the one I wanted to draw your attention to, because this shows suicide rates around the world for 2019, which is the last year I could get figures for this particular slide, showing in blue men and in red women.
Women.
And you can see up at the top of Russia, the number of men who take their own life compared to women. That's probably about 5 times the number of men to women. Now, if you remember just now, I mentioned about every 2 hours a man here in the UK takes their life. You can see about halfway down, and you've got the suicide rates for the United Kingdom, and you can see that men, it's maybe 2, maybe 3 to 1 men to women. But when you look at UK figures in that, and you consider that 1 man every 2 hours takes their life, what must that be in the likes of Russia, South Africa, South Korea, United States, where you can see the blue lines it's scary. And I don't think there's one country on this particular slide where women actually outstrip men for suicide rates. I do recall that a previous version of this slide I had, which was for 2015, I think there were a couple of countries where women did outstrip men, but just in those sort of 3 or 4 years for 2019, that sort of reversed then. These are scary statistics, which again, I think shows why last year's, or by the time this presentation goes live, it'd be the 2 years ago, the RI President Gordon McInally, why mental health was one of his key emphasis.
Yeah.
So as I say, I mentioned earlier on, the majority of us are not experts in the mental health field, but what can we do to create and maintain awareness and encourage people to seek help with the Don't Bottle Up campaign? Well, like I said earlier on, we used initially the example of the This Close to Ending Polio campaign. So I tried to get a number of personalities on board. So again, sports stars, singers, comedians, members of parliament, to get them involved. And I've continued that throughout the years. This campaign started in 2017. And to date, we've probably got around about 50, 55, what I call public figures, sort of personalities who hopefully people will recognise, not just from here in the UK, but from all around the world. In fact, just looking at this slide here, the slide in the top left there, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she's quite well known in India, in the dance community there. So we've got people from all around the globe taking part in this campaign.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, we've also linked up with some of the Rotary fellowships, where some of the personalities have got a connection. And this one always makes me smile because, for a start, how many Rotarians would link with heavy metal music to Rotary? Certainly here in the UK and in America, in parts of Europe, Rotarians are very much seem to be older people sort of thing, not the younger type Rotarians, but are slowly coming into Rotary. But when you think of heavy metal music, you don't think that older people will be into that sort of thing. But there is actually a Rotary fellowship for, they're called the Rotarian Metalhead Fellowship, which is for Rotarians who are into heavy metal music.
Okay.
One of the personalities I approached is a singer of a heavy metal band, and she didn't just give me one image in the standard pose. She came up with several, showing a bit of a sort of attitude, as I put it. And what the fellowship did, they actually printed some of her images for the campaign, went to some of her concerts, got her to sign it, and then auctioned off those signed images amongst the fellowship to raise funds for the Rotary Foundation, which to me is brilliant.
Amazing.
I think that's just great. And then from a Rotarian point of view, and when I say Rotarian, I'm talking about the wider Rotary family here. So Rotarians, Rotaract members and Interact members, we've probably around about 650 members of the Rotary family taking part in the campaign now. Certainly over in Asia, in parts of India, for instance, it has really grown, especially amongst Interact members in India. There's one of my fellow members of the Rotary Action Group for Mental Health in India. He's very heavily involved with his club, with their Interact club, or Interact clubs, I should say. And I think it's about 3 or 4 of the Interact clubs, the whole entire school year, which is basically the Interact clubs in question, have taken part in the campaign to try and promote mental health awareness amongst their school friends, which I think is brilliant. We've got high-ranking Rotarians. You can see here Holger Nuck, who was RI president a few years back, Gordon McInally. So we've got several very high-ranking Rotarians, but also ordinary Rotarians, ordinary club Rotarians who take part. Some clubs have actually said we want to do this as a club initiative or a district initiative. So we've got whole entire club members taking part, which is just great to see. And I think in total, it's probably about 37 different countries we have representation in these days. Brilliant to see. Oops, I skipped a slide there. And what we've also tried to do in more recent years, we've also tried to translate some of the images, so other text on the images. So we've had it translated into 2 of the languages used in India. We've had it translated into Spanish, Ukrainian, and Romanian, just for some of the countries. I'm always looking for more countries to get it translated into, which is great to see. Because again, it's just helping to spread the message there. Yeah. One of the things we did as well with the translation here in the UK, with the war in Ukraine, we had a lot of people coming over, refugees coming over from Ukraine temporarily to seek refuge. Obviously, with what's happened there, their mental health has probably been shot to pieces. So they need, a lot of them will probably need support. They're in a strange language. Many of them probably don't speak English over here. So with the help of one of my Ukrainian Rotarian friends, by putting Rotary here in the UK, we've sort of teamed up with, we've got a strategic partnership. We've put together a documentation highlighting where people can get mental health support. And one of my Ukrainian Rotarian friends helped me get that translated into Ukrainian so that we could distribute that around. And I know that it has worked because where I used to work, one of my work colleagues, his next door neighbor was actually hosting a Ukrainian refugee, and they actually made use of the document. So I know it has been used and it has helped people.
Amazing.
But it's not just Ukrainian as well. We also have a number of Romanians in other countries over here in the UK. So we've had it translated into Romanian, and we're in the process of getting it translated into Polish and other languages, again, as a guide to help them whilst we're over here, which is great to see. But one of the things we discovered over the last couple of years, the phrase "don't bottle it up" doesn't always translate very well, and sometimes holding a bottle with some cultures doesn't quite fit in with our culture. So we've come up with a slight variation. So we've come up with a slightly alternative campaign to run in parallel with "Don't Bottle It Up" called "How Are You Really?", asking exactly the same questions, but this way there's no bottle involved, so there's no fear of any sort of cultural issues that way. We've had to be careful with the actual sort of hand gestures as well, because sometimes hand gestures can be a bit awkward. The top left one, a picture of myself, we try to steer away from that particular image because that's me pointing, which I think actually works quite well with "How are you really?" because it's asking the question to the individual, how are you actually feeling? It was felt that maybe a bit too harsh, so we've tried to go for a more open hand gesture. But the bottom left, if that's a TV personality here in the UK, she came up with her own variation, a sort of more sort of thoughtful sort of how are you really sort of thinking sort of thing, which, to be honest, all 3 sort of gestures work really well with that campaign. It's not taken off quite so much as a "Don't Bottle It Up", but it's an alternative where we know "Don't Bottle It Up" won't really work very well. So what else can we do as Rotarians? You've already mentioned about the Rotarians Mental Health Action Group. They've got a great website. There's some great toolkits on that website, projects, activities for clubs and districts to get involved with. So if you haven't checked it out, please do, because there are some great resources on that website. And of course, partly why I'm here today, what else can we do? Take part in the "Don't Bottle Up" campaign. All I need is a photograph of you holding a bottle in that particular image, or for the variation, the similar sort of hand gesture, ideally against a black or a blank background, and I can just add it to the template and create an image, usually within sort of 24, 48 hours, and we run with that on social media. I should stress, it's although some clubs and districts have run their campaigns and have printed it to be shown in sort of shops, doctor surgeries, so on and so forth, predominantly it is a social media campaign. So we've run this campaign on a zero cost. I've had no funds from my district, from RIB or anywhere. It's purely a cost neutral, no cost campaign, apart from those who want to print the images themselves.
Yeah.
Going back to Rotary Action Group, they have bi-monthly open meetings as well. Usually only last for about an hour, hour and a half on a Saturday. So again, that's a great way to converse with other people who have got a passion for mental health and to see what's been done in the wider Rotary world. I mentioned at the very start, I became a mental health first aider. Many countries around the world have organizations who run that. So again, please check that out, because that's a great tool to get to help tackle the stigma of mental health.
Yeah.
And clubs can do their own projects. This one here is a campaign called Speak Out, which a club in India, they had seen the Double Up campaign. They came up with a slightly different variation of it, with a hotline telephone number to various people who would be able to sort of just be at the end of a telephone to speak to someone if they need someone to talk to, which was a great campaign, running a very similar sort of manner to the Double Up campaign.
Yeah.
And what I touched upon it just now, what we've done here in the UK as well, we've created a strategic partnership with Bipolar UK, which again is just helping to tackle the stigma of one particular aspect of mental health, and that partnership is going from strength to strength.
Yeah.
And another thing is also we could do is, as clubs, buddy up with groups who do mental health support. Here in England, there's a group called Andy's Man Club, which is going from strength to strength. To give you a bit of background, it was formed by the best friend and mother of a guy called Andy who sadly took his own life. At the time, they said that if only we had known, we could have perhaps tried to do something to help him. But they formed these self-help groups for men, and I believe there are sort of women's groups being set up as well now, who meet at the same time every week all around the country. Men can just go along and just, if they want to, speak to someone or just listen to talk about issues. But what we've done with some of the clubs here in Plymouth, where I'm based, we've actually linked up with Andy's Man Club, and some of our members actually help out with some of our events because they find it's great. So when we do environmental projects like litter picks on beaches, beach cleanups, it's a great way to get those guys out of the community, getting involved with things, away from the pressures, away from the troubles they may have had, and they find it a great way to sort of get out and try to escape the issues they've had, which is a great sort of partnership there. So just to summarise, what can we as Rotarians do? Take part, or at least share the Double Up campaign. So even if you don't want to take part yourself, we've got a Facebook page, Rotarians for Mental Health. Please like, share the images we post on that. We tend to promote things, especially when there's things like World Mental Health Month, Suicide Prevention Day around the world. We try to be more active around those dates in the year, but for the whole entire year we will be posting things from time to time. So again, please share things there. We can share details of and use tools on the Rotary Action Group mental health website. We can take part in mental health first aid courses. Clubs can do their own projects, and with the action group, districts can even form their own chapters, sort of thing, to get more involved with things. A lot of districts around the world are starting to do that, which is a great thing to do to see Rotarians getting more involved with mental health issues. So at the end of the day, with this campaign, I'll be honest, I've got no idea how many people have actually seen the images around the world, because like I say, some clubs have been running their own campaigns using the images. It's been running since 2017. So how many people have actually seen the images around the world, I have no idea. But for me, if just one person sees one of the images and decides to do something and seek help, to me, that means the campaign has been a success. If it's just helped just one person, and I'm sure it has.
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
My details are at the bottom of the screen there, my email address. So if you want to get in touch, please do so. And that is the end of my presentation there.
Yeah. Thank you, Darren. Wow. So, I just want to welcome. Wow, I love it. You shared so much. And but I just want to introduce you to my colleague here, fellow Rotarian, Migs Morales. Migs, Darren Hands, don't bottle it up, mental health champion right here. Yeah. So Darren, I'm gonna say this. I actually during our RI president Gordon McAnally, I saw your "Don't Bottle Up" campaign, and I said that is brilliant. So whether I needed to ask permission or not, I didn't. I just went ahead, right? Because I said this is a public health campaign, and campaign is supposed to be duplicated. So I just want to tell you, Darren, that my Rotary Club of 𝐃𝐎𝐓, every single club members held up a bottle, and I'm gonna send you the pictures, because every single one of us held up a bottle, and we actually had "Don't Bottle It Up" and messages, right? Messages. And then I also just want to share it with you, because I just want you to know you created like it's a ripple effect, because in one of our inductions, I mean, I don't know what it's like in England or in UK, but our induction here is really, it's a celebration. Of course, it's a celebration, right? And sometimes you don't really think mental health and induction together. But during a hope creating year, in our induction, we had our RCC, Rotary Community Corps, Ilaw ng Tahanan. They were there to do the "Don't Bottle It Up" campaign. So, Darren, you created an impact, and it rippled. You didn't know it, but it rippled here in 𝐃𝐎𝐓, Quezon, Philippines. So thank you so much for it, because what a brilliant campaign. And it's so true.
Thank you. That's so great to hear. And like you say, that's the whole idea of this campaign. Rotarians can share it, use it. And like I say, just for Rotarians I know, I think it's probably about 650 members of the Rotary family involved, 50 what I call public figures involved. So and it's growing. So, and to hear it, your club, your district, if done images as well, sort of thing. So that number's going to be even higher still. So that's great to hear. And at the time of this recording, we're just about to see the international convention take place. I know that my fellow members of the Rotary Action Group will be there with a stand. And if they do the same as what we did last year, which is what I believe we're going to do, we're going to try and get people to take images there, send them over to me here in the UK, because sadly I can't make it to 𝐃𝐎𝐍'𝐓 this year. And hopefully through convention, we'll get a load more people getting involved as well. So it's brilliant. Yeah. And like I say, at the end of the day, if just one person sees one of those images and decides to do something about it and seek help, and help is out there.
It is.
It's just knowing it's out there, or just taking that step of, like I say, we mustn't forget the people indirectly affected, and sometimes they need to just speak to someone as well. And sometimes it's a simple matter of just speaking to someone. That can make a massive great difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Darren, just speaking up, right, and expressing yourself, it really does help alleviate, any heaviness that you have. It helps, right? So, Migs, do you want to say something before I take up the space? Go.
Okay, thank you very much for this campaign. I totally agree with you, because I'm also a mental advocate. I'm a nurse by profession. I'm the president-elect of one of the Rotary Club of Batangas. It's downtown Lemery. And I totally agree. Probably we will initiate this campaign in our club. And I totally agree that if we suppress and even we deceive people regarding our emotions, anxiety, and depression, it will clump up and it will explode. And that is not therapeutic. And eventually, it can destroy yourself, but it can destroy other people as well. That's the vital of mental health. It's not only the victim, is not only the person, but the victim also is the surrounding or the social environment. I've seen a lot in my practice of mental health that my specialty is rehabilitation and drug dependency, wherein they must acknowledge that they have a problem in addiction. But if they cannot accept who they really are and their lapses on their personality, and thus there will be no therapeutic or cure or treatment to that. And I love how we place this in a campaign wherein even the vulnerable could speak up, because there are individuals that are scared to show who they really are or their vulnerabilities. Diba? It's hard to open up for your weaknesses. If all of us have the awareness, all of us have that wider perspective or openness of mind, eventually there will be no miscommunication, probably. That these some tiny issues could trigger mental health issues. Thus, this campaign is the initiator of a more productive, a more sustainable, and even open society. That mental issue is real. Mental illness is real, and I totally see it. And even in my practice in the hospital, that the younger generation is very what I call this very sensitive.
Yep.
They are very sensitive in terms of their emotion. They're very empowered. They're very vocal. But if other generation would probably counsel them, there's different perspective. So thus this campaign is very meaningful, not only in my generation as a millennial, but also in the Z or the other generation.
Yep.
So thank you very much, Rotarian Darren, for this initiative.
Yeah. It's so simple but yet so profound, right?
That's
So,
what we're aiming for. Keeping it simple, a nice simple campaign, just to get the message out there.
yeah. You know, there was one thing that you said there about you don't at the beginning, right? How you don't have to be a mental health professional to offer help. And I love that you had those 3 red points, 3 points bullet in red, because really the support is you don't have to be a mental health. And to be honest, I mean, I'm also a nurse from Canada. And to be honest, right, it's really sometimes even, and it's not like blaming, but sometimes when you are really overburdened, doesn't matter what profession you are, sometimes you're not even helpful anymore, right? Because sometimes it's just you yourself are suffering. But anyone can really, if you learn how to listen, right? Listen openly without judgment, validating people, encouraging people to get help, right? And referring them to, if they need to get help. Just really, anybody can do that, right?
Yeah.
So how beautiful it is to have those messages out there and empower everybody to do it, right? And just want to say also, like, if ever, like what Mig said, if every one of us, right? Gosh, it'd be a perfect world. We wouldn't have a problem. But it is a little bit hard. But at least we have those stepping stones. And step 1, take action. And I love that Rotarians, right, have those platforms, have those strategies, have those tools to take actions, to guide them in taking action. So I love that. I'm a member of Rotary Action Group for Mental Health. So I think we'll just, obviously going to promote it a little bit more and have people visit your website, right?
Brilliant.
Yeah. But it's so, I'm really touched, Darren, the statistic, right? The statistic, the men.
Oh, it's scary, isn't it? Scary here in the UK.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like I said, with that slide, when you see the comparison figures for Russia, South Africa, America, where it's even higher again, that is so scary.
Yeah. I don't even know the statistic. Maybe Migs, you know it. The statistic here in the Philippines. But here in the Philippines, because there are so many people who don't really they don't get access to mental health care because not everybody can afford. But somebody dying by suicide, sometimes it doesn't even get to that point. Nobody, like the statistic here would probably not be reliable if we had a statistic, because so it's really scary, isn't it? And that's why it really highlights the importance of talking
Yeah.
openly about mental health, and no matter what, just keep on talking about it, right? Until we erase stigma slowly, right? And encourage people to just keep talking. So we got a lot of work, guys.
We are making a difference. We are making a difference.
Yeah, yeah. Darren, I also want to share here in District 3820, we did have trainings, because the goal, Darren, and maybe you can be part of it. I want you to be part of it. This is an invitation. The goal is to have mental health champions per club. And we have about 150 clubs, or more than 150 clubs. And really, that is a dream it's my dream. I know it's also Mig's, and I'm sure it's yours as well. But really, to have all the clubs have at least one or two people, right? Be mental health champions. Wouldn't that be an amazing world?
That would, yeah. It would. I know we've been trying to encourage districts to have champions on a district level here in the UK, which is a first step towards it. It's not fully got there yet, but it's getting there, and I think that's the first step. If we can get the districts on board first, and then hopefully we can then get onto the clubs to, like you say, have club champions to help lead on this subject.
Yeah, slowly but surely, step by step, right? But I'm really proud of my district, Darren, because they're open. I mean, I'm the district mental health chair. Hello. So openness is good, isn't it?
Definitely. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So Mix, I don't know if you can hear the rain.
Yeah, it's pouring here also.
But it's raining here. Yeah. So Mix, do you want to say anything?
So probably I want to emphasize that in the Philippines, we have the mental health law. However, in the Philippines, there's a discrepancy and disconnection between the budget. We have the law for mental health in the workplace, mental health for the educational institution. However, I totally agree with PP Glenda. Yes, there's a law, but there's no budget, and there's no individual who is responsible to the implementation of the project. We are only few psychiatrists. We have only 2,000 psychiatrists, or less than 1,000 psychiatrists in the Philippines.
Yeah, it's less than one for every 400,000 Filipinos. You can't do that, right? Yeah. So there has to be something else that we can do. And I think mental health champions in all communities, right? So
I totally agree.
Big job.
I totally agree. So this is the one of probably a small step, but with a higher impact. Why? Because first step is awareness, knowledge. No, we must penetrate the grassroots, and to that, if the grassroots will eventually understand what our advocacy, eventually the lawmakers will act on it. Even the legislators and even the leaders and the LGUs or the local government units and even the Senate. Why? Because we need also their support. But this initiative is one of the powerful act for us to understand and for us to here in the Philippines, there's a lot of stigma and discrimination in mental health. Thus, the people who had some symptoms, they do not want to verbalize. They do not want to consult. Because number one, it's costly. Number two, they're scared of discrimination and stigma. And through this campaign and through our efforts in Rotary, we may diminish, not to eliminate, but we may diminish this stigma and discrimination, specifically in the Philippines. Because in the Philippines, there's different culture. Tama, Pipi Glenda. If you have been, you went to a psychiatrist or even a psychologist, there's something you are tagged already. Thus, we need this program for us to diminish discrimination and stigma to those people. And eventually, we may embrace them wholly and holistically. And that's our end goal naman. To embrace, to reorient or reintegrate them to the society. Okay?
Yeah. Well, Migs, you are incoming president. Is that correct?
In 2020, yes, PE.
Is it this year or next year?
Next year.
Oh, next year. Okay, well, you can start the work anyway this year.
Yes.
We have work to do, right?
Yes.
But yeah, so Darren, I'm going to send you pictures of my Rotary Club of 𝐃𝐎𝐓, just so you know you touched lives here in the Philippines.
Oh, brilliant.
And trust and believe that this year, with the help of Migs and the Kato-Talk team, we're going to do more work with you, alongside you, just really to raise awareness and to change the landscape of mental health, right? Change the numbers and just to make things a little better and our world a little lighter, right? Because we so deserve it. So we're gonna have you back on sometime in the future, maybe to talk about other stuff, right? Awesome. Well, it's 49 minutes and 55 seconds. I think we have had a very meaningful conversation, and it's so good to know and hear the man behind a beautiful campaign. And thank you so much for sharing. And really, I hope when this is streamed and when people watch, I hope the Rotarians check out Rotary Action Group for Mental Health Initiatives. Is that correct?
Yep.
We'll share the link for the website. And there's also a Facebook page, Darren, did you say?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So we'll share that when this recording streams. And we'll share a whole bunch more. And I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah. So with that, Migs, thank you so much for popping in. I know you were busy, but thank you so much. And for all our Kato-Talk viewers and followers, please like and share our page. And this year, we are all over the Philippines. Tama ba? Is that correct?
Yes,
right?
yes.
And, we're going to be more intentional in doing this mental health work because it's so needed. So with that, thank you so much, Darren. Don't go away yet. But we will, So thank you so much, everybody, and see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.